Hello all my crafty friends, this is Yvonne and I'm here with you today to share with you another project that I've been working on, and I'm going to continue on today. But I want to show you how I made this beautiful card. I mean, it's rich looking, it's very sophisticated, it says it all just in one scoop, and any recipient would be happy to receive a card like this. And I made these cards. I make my cards early in July because then I always have plenty to give to my friends and so forth. When Christmas time comes around, I can work on other things in the meantime. So anyway, going back, this is a die set I used. I bought this. It's a Merry Christmas in Frames that I labeled it. It's a die from AliExpress that I purchased last year, and I think it was like $4 or $5, something like that. I'm not quite sure, Canadian. And I'm not sure if you Google Christmas frames or stuff like that, you'll probably have it come up to your attention. But it's a really good value. It has the frame, it has the filigree frame, and it also has a little die for the center, which gives you your inner frame, and you have a smaller frame that you can choose to add around your greeting Merry Christmas. I have had no issues. It cuts extremely well. The only thing, if I'm cutting on heavy, with a heavy background, you would need to use a shim in that because it tends to want to not cut as clear. And for an example, I was going to cut through this, and I didn't have the patience to go through it right at this point, but it's cut through. But I gotta pick every piece off, and because it's a layer of paper in the back. Now my cardstock is a little different because it is much firmer, so it cut right through. I had no issues whatsoever. So let's get started. That's enough said. Card is your standard base card. I chose red. I ended up using this, and all I did for the frame, you can do it any which way that you want. What I did on this particular one is I used my TM tape, and I've cut out a piece. And then all I did was I cut a little strip of it, maybe about 1/4 of an inch, because that's all I have for the edge here, and I do not like my foam tape to show. So I wanted it out here. Now you could put it inside there if you want, but I don't like my flaps to kind of hang. I like it to show. Now this could also be a nice shaker card that you could see all kinds of goody stuff in there if you wished. The sky's the limit. I don't, when I craft by eye. I'm not a sweet person for a lot of details, and I do it a lot, actually. I should refrain than what I said. But what I mean by that is I like details, but I don't like to fuss over it too much, because your average crafter, they want to craft to have fun. They don't want to, and not everybody has the talent to do things or think of things to put together. This is why I'm showing you this, because once you see it, you say, oh, I have something in there that I can do something very similar to that. And that's the whole idea with sharing all your experiences. You don't have to do it exactly, although that you're most welcome to. But it's just the idea that when you do craft, you do end up having something that you made, nobody else made, and there are no two that are alike, no matter what. So here I am. I'm just baffling along because I want you guys to see this. But I love my TM strip. I bought that. I paid $50 for it. I've had it for years because It's something that goes a really long way. But you can also buy this one here, which comes from the dollar store here in Canada. And it's not so bad. It's very sticky, but it's not too bad. So now I'm going to raise this panel. Now you don't need to raise the panel. You could have left it just as is and glued it on just by yourself. There's my card there. There's my base. All right, that's what I did there. And then when it came to this, I did the same thing. I used a little bit of dimension. Now, if you're worried about putting it through the postal, I don't think it'll be an issue unless you really embellish it with very high embellishments, because it'll fit through the slot, no problem, if that's an issue. And if you're one of those that love to give your cards to your colleagues or friends or neighbors or whatever by hand, or with a hostess gift, you're all set. See how easy that is? And here's the Merry Christmas that cut out of that die. Isn't that pretty, guys? It just cut out like butter. It's so adorable. And my handy dandy silicone mat here that I purchased from the dollar store. Dollarama is our store here in Canada, or at least the one that I go to. And this mat was $3, and they had quite a few of them, something new. And I was so happy because mine was pretty bad shape. And I'll tell you, I paid a lot more than $3 for it. So this is a new product that they have. And yeah, it's pretty good. And I don't know if you guys know this trick of the trade kind of deal, but if you want to, don't want it to stick to your fingers, sorry for the noise, guys. If you don't want it to stick to your fingers, just lay it where you want it. Let's see. Okay. And then grab yourself a piece of wax paper and then just press it down. You won't have any smear on your finger or fingerprints or stuff like that. It just works like a charm. Very, very impressive. And so there's my Merry Christmas. And I'm missing the eye right there, which I know. So I'm going to take my little pen here and I'm just going to put a dot of glue. And I didn't remove it from the cutout here because I didn't want to lose it. She's so tiny. Like this, and then I'm going to drop it if I can. It's got to stick into my... I have such big stumpy fingers, it's not... There you go. There you go. There she goes for the taking. So there's a Merry Christmas, guys. Very, very pretty, very inviting. Now you may wonder, what are these? These are little, they look like half, I don't know what you would call them. I bought them on Amazon, and they're just like little half round circles. Like this, like a cabochon, I guess. And I just think they look like a bit of a berry. So if I wanted to, I could have also added some leaves there, but I didn't want to put it too chunky because of the mail. But I like it. I really do. I find that it made a big difference. So I'm taking the mini dots that I use on the glue dots, and all I did here, this time here I'm going to put it on this side. All I did there was take a little mini glue dot, add it on, 3 like this. You do not have to put this. I just did. I might look at it later to see if I can put a few leaves on there. But I just find that it just dresses up the card tremendously. See how it looks like? It almost looks like a berry. And for the inside, it's very simple. I just kept it simple. I used the remainder of my gold here, and with the dies here, with my framelits, these come from Sizzix. I just chose two sized. I cut the first one, and then I cut the other one in white. Let me do it with you here, so you'll know what I mean. I just cut it out, the larger in gold, just for a nice background. Like this. And then I took the next size down, which is this one here, and I cut it out of white cardstock. I have plenty of little pieces here, I'll tell you. I keep all my little pieces, and then I cut them out in squares or whatever when there are tails on them, because I've cut other things out. And I keep a nice little square because I can always stamp on it, or I can use it like this. And there, you have your sentiment for the inside. Now, here all I did was use my tape gun, like that. And I added it on the side, like that. That's as simple as that. This one here, I took my Misty, but you could use whatever you have with a stamp, and I just lined up my my little label like that, and then I took a stamp. You can use anything you have. In this particular case, I just use May Your Days. I'm going to put May your days be May your days be in the magic of the season. In the magic of the season. And I'm going to leave a place for someone to sign. I'm going to center this on my little piece here, like that. Now you can use a block, a Stampin' Block. You're all set with that. I'm using Real Red from Stampin' Up. My Stampin' Up ink pads. And I'm going to make sure, usually I'll put a, I'll try to add a, I'll try to add a magnet on here to keep it straight. But my granddaughter was over and I don't know what she did with them. I'll find it. There you go. May your days be in the magic of the season. It's as simple as that. I take that. Like that. You could do a lot of different things. You could edge this with gold paint. You could edge it with red paint. You could leave it as is. You can, there's so many things. The sky's the limit. If you're hand delivering this, you could embellish the inside much more than what I've done here. And there you go, guys. That's this one. This is this one, Believe in the Spirit, True Spirit of Christmas. May your days be in the magic of the season, and we have ourselves a card. So these are so inexpensive to make, and they're so easy to make, and you can make a lot of them in a little time. This is Yvonne. I'm going to be back with more ideas and cards and so forth and everything else that I do. And have yourself a great day, but most of all, be happy. Later.